This One's Wife. Andrew gone, we will save the monarchy. Hello, I'm H.G. Tudor. If the monarchy in the United Kingdom was a football club, it might be said the squan is a touch thin on the ground. After all, in the last few years, it has lost Prince Philip, the late Queen Elizabeth II. Catherine had a period of time out as a consequence of her cancer treatment. Charles continues to have cancer treatment and is in his mid-70s. Camilla and Anne, whilst they continue to undertake their duties, they are not getting any younger. Harry and this one's wife buggered off 5.5 years ago to the United States, where now they just whinge and moan and engage in influencer behaviours. And, as we all know, most recently, Andrew has become Andrew Mountbatten Windsor, and whilst he stepped back some years ago from official duties, he is basically being erased from royal life in all manner of means. Some might regard this as a bit of a rocky time for the monarchy. And I understand that it has been suggested that with Andrew having been stripped of his titles, that there are particular concerns in Monty Shitshow about this one's wife and Harry being next. That as a consequence of the fact that not only have they stepped back from doing anything useful for the royal family, but they've been a positive thorn in the side, that it might be the case that Charles, or more likely William, will be moved to strip them of the titles also. Naturally, there are many people who are salivating at the prospect of this occurring, regarding it as entirely just desserts for the gruesome twosome. Furthermore, we all know that the title is something that this one's wife clings on to. You all know this is because of her narcissism. The narcissist loves having a title, loves being able to wield hierarchical power, because it subconsciously assists with the assertion of control and the drawing of fuel, and potentially the access to residual benefits. 3 of the prime aims. We all know that this one's wife is only heard of as a consequence of the fact that she married a prince and entered briefly, albeit, into the royal family. Had that not happened, she would just be a jobbing actress that few people would have heard of. Accordingly, without that title, without the status, without the involvement of Harry, she really is a nobody. And therefore, many people would see that if she were to lose that title, not only, as I've explained separately, would this result in substantial wounding to her as a consequence of the loss of that particular jewel, but also it would limit her opportunities moving forward. And therefore, not unreasonably, there are many people thinking that quite possibly the atmosphere in Monty Shitshow isn't so good at present. Indeed, it caused some people to speculate that the photographs and video footage of the Halloween pap walkabout, showing the gruesome twosome looking rather miserable, may well have been reflective of the fact that all is not well in paradise at the moment, of their concerns that they too are going to find them son's title, like Uncle Andrew. And yet, notwithstanding that, there has been a suggestion from an alternative quarter that goes against the grain in that regard. I understand that the YouTuber Neil Sean has offered the suggestion that, in actual fact, Harry and this one's wife see the fact of Andrew going as an excellent opportunity for them, because the royal family will need them more than ever. Now, I don't know the provenance of Mr. Sean's information, whether it's to be relied upon or not. As is invariably the case, I let you make your own minds up about that. There are plenty of bullshitters in the community that make up shite about this one's wife and Harry for the purpose of gaining clicks. I'm not suggesting that includes Mr. Sean. I know of him. I'm not hugely familiar with his work, but nevertheless, you can make your own determination in that regard as to whether you think that's accurate or not. But what I will say is it's worth an analysis to consider, could that in actual fact be accurate because of the mindset of this one's wife? As many have pointed out, you would think, given what has happened to Andrew and given their behaviours, they would be quaking in their boots. We're going to be next. If Charles doesn't do it, William will. The titles are going to go. This is going to pose as a problem. That seems like a logical thought process. But might it actually be that this one's wife is sat there thinking, you know what? With Andrew gone, they're thin on the ground. They need us more than ever before. And the short answer to that is, it is a distinct possibility. Why? Because this is the deluded mindset that this one's wife has. Remember, as a narcissist, she believes that she's special. She believes that she's unique. She believes that she's superior to all around her. She believes that she's worthy of admiration over and over again. She believes that she is somebody that is talented, that is particularly adept at a variety of different things. She exaggerates her achievements and talents. We've heard this many times as relation to the revision of history. She expects to be recognised as superior, even though she doesn't have the achievements to back it up. She's preoccupied with success. I'm going to be a billionaire. She's preoccupied with power, wanting to censor people online and shut them up. She's preoccupied with the concept of her beauty. She believes that she's a fashion icon. She believes that she's special, that she's unique, that she believes that she should have favourable treatment wherever she goes. I can't believe I'm not being paid for this, etc., etc. And as a consequence of this mindset, it is entirely conceivable, as per Neil Sean's suggestion, that rather than actually be trembling and thinking, shit, we're next, the titles are going to go, that this one's wife would be thinking, you know what? This presents as an opportunity. We can save the monarchy. We're fresh, exciting, we're modern. This is what they've been crying out for. Andrew's just a stale-old pervert. Out of the way he should go. Now the way is paved for us. It's only a matter of time before King Chuck gets on the blower and says, you guys, wonder if you'd fancy coming back into the firm. This one's wife, with her deluded narcissism, may well have this mindset. To many of you, it seems crazy. How on earth could she ever believe that she would be seen as the saviour of the monarchy after she spent the last 5 years trashing it? But that's the way that narcissists often think. Remember, she compartmentalises. Accordingly, what's gone before is irrelevant, save where her narcissism needs to resurrect it. But the rest of the time, it just dissipates into the ether, as if it never occurred, because all that matters is now. And if now is, the monarchy is in trouble, send for the Sussexes, that's what her narcissism tells her. It doesn't go, well, you might think that, this one's wife, that they should send for you, but pause for a moment. You spent the last 5.5 years throwing shitballs at them from across the Atlantic. Her narcissism doesn't remind her of that fact, because it doesn't need to. It's irrelevant. Instead, it tells her, you're amazing, you're beautiful, you wear butterfly wings while strolling down the street. The monarchy is in trouble. Andrew's a pervert and has been pushed to one side. Chuck isn't very well. William is lazy. Catherine is more concerned about showing off her legs. What they need is a modern biracial Wonder Woman. Enter you. And Harry can come too, I suppose. Accordingly, the fact is that this one's wife's narcissism, they very well delude her to have that particular mindset, that rather than see it as a threat, that she actually sees it as an opportunity, and that it's only a matter of time before somebody gets on the phone and says, come on over, let's talk terms. That Harry, as a consequence of his sense of entitlement, not driven by narcissism, but his narcissistic traits that he has, and his resentment, and his dim-wittedness, and the fact that he believes everything that he's told by his wife because he's completely under her spell, would also go along with it. Oh, yeah, you're absolutely right, my little Westphalian pumpernickel. Yeah, they will need us, won't they? Yeah, absolutely. This is the way forward. We're saved. Huzzah! Huzzah! Accordingly, whilst it won't come to pass because, of course, the monarchy is never going to readmit these two, The fact is, this one's wife could well be strolling around with a shit-eating Cheshire Cat grin on her face, believing that in actual fact they are going to be welcomed back as a consequence of Andrew disappearing and the monarchy experiencing some staffing issues, if we can put it that way. I'm H.G. Tudor. Thank you for listening.